Authors and artists work really hard on their stuff, so please support them using the links below. Earth, between April 20th and May 7th, age 774. This story takes place in universes 4, 16, 18, and 20. Gohan searches for his younger brother around what appears to be a mountain range. The two of them were supposed to get in some much-needed training today, but since the young Saiyan has recently mastered the ability to fly, he never really knows where he is anymore. And sure enough, thousands of miles away, Goten is having the time of his life. Meeting up with his best friend Trunks, he questions, "So you got it?" Celebrating, he shouts, "Yeah, it was easy!" as the boys holler their greatest wishes, fitting of any small child, of their own amusement parks and mountains of junk food. As we see, Trunks snatched the Dragon Radar from his mother. Gazing out over the horizon, the duo zero in on the beginning of their quest. With an interface so simple just about anyone could understand it, they realize they're exactly over the blinking dot, though being in the middle of a vast ocean. The ball is plunged far into the depths of the abyss. Goten complains he can't see a thing down there. Humorously stating the obvious, Trunks retorts, "Of course, it's the ocean! Search again!" But our deep-sea diver has had enough of his underwater adventures, ushering his partner to take his place. With a swing and aftershock of energy, the boy has certainly doomed at least a few innocent bystanders with his reckless behavior. Goten bellowing now they're definitely going to get scolded by his mother if Trunks is going to go around creating tsunamis. But while these great waves would never make their way to the coast, they did happen through an unconscious swimmer. With Broly regaining his wits, he senses who he believes to be Trunks and Kakarot. But how did the legendary Super Saiyan find his way to this particular world? Colliding with the comet set to destroy planet New Vegeta and Goku's last-ditch effort in the Spirit Bomb, Broly dropped out of his legendary form and wandered through space. Slowly but surely, New Vegeta's gravity would pull him from orbit. There he stayed for 6 years, completely alone. Once back on his feet, he focused on his new goal, finding his most formidable enemy. Sensing their key, he ventured after him, bearing neither spacecraft or oxygen. Arriving to Earth exhausted, he lost consciousness. Back with the boys, Goten chides if Trunks even managed to spot the ball, which he didn't. But unknown to them, Broly closes in fast, seeing the pair in the distance, confirming, to him at least, he's on the right planet. Turning to his friend, Trunks inquires if he feels something. Everybody else simultaneously sensing what's going on. Easily beating them down, Broly is bewildered, as these two appear too small to be Trunks and Kakarot. Everyone rushing to the scene. It seems the legendary warrior has the kids on their ropes immediately. Demanding Broly tell him where his son is. Gohan can feel Vegeta is keeping their enemy busy, but not able to sense the kids anymore, which could mean while the two fight above, Gohan is luckily soon aided by 18, who is smart enough to use her energy to light the area. Either communicating telepathically or simply gesturing with inference to the reader, she tells Gohan Krillin informed her of the situation, and she'll look for the little ones. He needs to help Vegeta. Locked in a stalemate, Broly mocks, "Not afraid of me anymore, Prince Vegeta? You remembered how to talk." Gohan arriving just in time to land a surprise attack, shouting back to his ally they have to finish him quickly before he turns into the legendary Super Saiyan. Now that he's transformed, Gohan worries he'll be invulnerable. Vegeta naturally already well aware, but argues it's been a long time since Cell. Fully confident Broly is far beneath him, scorning he's nothing but a legendary failure. Quickly finding out that's not the case. Luckily, 18 has managed to rescue both the boys. And at the sight of his bloody little brother, wiping his face, Vegeta finds solace in Gohan returning to the good old days. Piccolo coming out of nowhere, mentioning he's the strongest of all of them, for now. But as he already knows, Broly's strength will continue to grow. Krillin and 18 rushing off with the kids, figuring they can take him back to the lookout for Dende's healing ability. Inquiring if they should stay and fight instead, Krillin has a pretty direct answer. Dear God, no! Broly can't be beaten the normal way. We must attack him all at once. Though simple and wise advice, Vegeta has no interest in the Namek's plans. In Otherworld, Goku can sense Broly's ki all the way with King Kai, who warns the Saiyan must not make any hasty moves. Continuing his attempt to sway the prince, Piccolo assures he's going to like his strategy. Everyone else will merely keep the brute busy, and Vegeta will launch his most powerful attack at him. Initially piffing at the idea, Piccolo goes to finish, by explaining he'll use the blast to launch him into the sun. Resolving it's better than nothing, Vegeta begins to power up, but not one to stand by. Most times, Goku hones in on their location, as Kaiosama agrees this is a sufficient danger and he will be allowed to intervene, but they first must obtain authorization. However, the Saiyan knows there's no time for that. Understanding, King Kai tells him to go for it, but take no more than a single second. Laughing at the consequences, Goku assures he's not even leaving Otherworld, just a little training is all it is. Catching him in the back, Piccolo bellows for Gohan to do as Vegeta, knowing there isn't much time. I see! Don't wait for me then! And as Broly makes his way to the sun, and Goku following King Kai's word, he vanishes just as quickly as he arrived, Gohan seeming as if he just felt a ghost. Though Piccolo has seen better days, he's no worse for the wear, believing their aim was on target, and that monster should not be coming back. Indeed, in Universes 4, 16, and 18, Broly would be encumbered by Earth's star, never to be seen again. But in Universe 20, the beast had a stroke of luck, propelling him past the sun's pole. Vegeto, having his work cut out for him, does his best to prevent Super Buu from absorbing Broly, while dozens of Micro Buus beeline the legendary Super Saiyan's direction. They're stopped, as Gohan and Brawl stand in the way, the latter having taken notice that their father asking for help is not at all like him, realizing the severity of the situation. Walking out from the hallway, one of the Namekians believe they have healed all the injured, though mentions many of the spectators suffered from the light emitted by Vegeto. To offset future mishaps, it might be a good idea to give the arena a daylight luminosity, to which the Vargas will see what they can do, just as Buu scoffs that the cavalry has arrived. Thinking to himself, or possibly to his allies here, he tells his children they've done a good job and should be able to hold out until Broly is warped back to his own realm. On the planetoid, Raditz points out that the lighting seems to have gotten brighter, Nappa responding offbeat, "Super! Let's leave! What the heck are you saying, Nappa? We're nothing here! Even you'll be crushed by that monster, Vegeta!" 16 turning to Trunks, inquiring if he'd like to throw in the towel as well, but he never figured he'd make it far anyway, so technically nothing has changed for him. While Babidi stays as cocky as ever behind his bubbly shield that's MajinBlue, believing his creature can still do better than those two freaks. But by the looks of it. Then checking in on the Cold family, even Frieza knows how outclassed they are. But their plan all along has been to obtain the Dragon Balls. Nothing more, nothing less. So whether or not that comes by traditional means is irrelevant. The lone Namekian respects the infinite strength showcased before him. Alas, he has his own wish to make, and nothing can come between him and that. Bojack is undeterred as well, though Xenia feels otherwise, informing they can find her in the spectators area. Cat's universe unwavered, but not for a show of confidence. It's because everyone here seems crazy strong anyway. The Kai is already planning what to do after the tournament ends, determining it's too dangerous to keep this link open between all the universes. The sooner they can close the connection, the better. And wisely, the boys try to weasel their way out as well, but knowing their fathers, the wise route isn't exactly the road most traveled, and they intend to enforce that philosophy on him. Oob seeking the guidance of his mentor. If he understands just how outmatched they are, why press on? Goku argues that's the challenge. Surely they'll meet Vegeto in the finale, and there's no doubt they'll improve along the way. Thinking, Vegeta knows he shouldn't be surprised that their fused counterpart is stronger than he and Goku, but by this much is ridiculous. though frustrated, listening in. Cell foreshadows many things can happen on the way to the finals. And with the Saiyan biology, he can only trust his next fights get more and more intense. The tougher, the better. Merely hoping these fools can give him a proper challenge when the time comes. Turning to Piccolo, Goten worries about Vegeto, Brawl, and Gohan, as they still haven't returned from wherever they are. Piccolo bringing up, it's also nearly impossible to sense them with all these incredible energies surrounding the area. Without further delay, number 18 from Universe 14 against Yamcha of Universe 9. Krillin questioning his longtime friend, who has aged much better by the way, if he also ended up choosing to forfeit. As arrogant as ever, he tells the old man to do what he wants, but he himself plans to fight to the end. Getting up to his lady killer ways? Yamcha playfully asks if 18 can just surrender now, as he doesn't want to hit a girl. However, he would love to take her out for a drink later, piffing at his offer. With breakneck speed, the Wolfang warrior's right in her face, blurting, "Now I'm sure of it!" Striking again only for her opponent to evade. He continues, deducing she doesn't release energy when she attacks, and her name is a number. She must be an artificial human. And the serious look on his face spells he knows much more about the androids than you'd initially suspect. His detective work even shocking 18 herself, but responds, "Yeah, so what?" Reaching out his hand, he comments that she must have suffered terribly, probably even forgot what her real name was, pleading to let him help her. But we know Yamcha's greatest power is rejection. Continuing to blast the surrounding area, she yells that she's killed more people than he can imagine, and she doesn't need anybody. But effortlessly dodging, he assures that he can read the grief on her face, suggesting she regrets the massacres, but is afraid to admit it. In constant pain of not remembering her own past, and he knows the suffering all too well. Finally biting, she snaps, asking what he would know about it. In a twist, Yamcha reveals that he's a cyborg too, and used to be called number 17. Away, 4 mini-Buus have found themselves to Broly.
Well done, my friends! Here we are! We finally entered into enemy territory, putting our own lives at risk! Yes! Okay, let's surround this guy! Yeah! Yay! Ah!
Gohan with the save right in time, to the disappointment of Super Buu. Our hero can only wonder how much longer the Vargas are going to take to send Broly back. And sure enough, it seems everything is ready to make just that happen. Though one argues what the point is. After all, he's on the other side of the universe by now. Brawl desperately needing to take a breath. She can't stand it anymore. Refusing to die here, she decides to power up to the next level, though her brother and father warn against it. Vegeto even reminding he's forbidden her from doing so previously. Trying to look at the bright side, Gohan thinks at least there isn't much for her to break out here. Buu taking a particular interest in the girl's power. Appearing to be Super Saiyan 2. Using one of her father's techniques, the teeny Buus know they're in trouble now. Taking aim at the minis around Vegeto and Gohan, her brother shouts for her to stop. Realizing what she's possibly done, her little foe is cackling at the potential, but believing she'll never be able to get all of them. Worried for her family, she returns to normal. Coughing she again, cutting off. Vegeto appears completely void of life, Gohan taking a savage beating as well. With no one left to stop him, Super Buu decides it's mealtime. But he's gone, as the Namek took control over the situation, taking it upon himself to send Broly back where he came from, though the Vargas continue to argue who would really care if the beast were to stay or not. Returning to space, Gohan tries to snap his sister out of her daze, announcing they're heading back. Filling their lungs with precious oxygen, Vegeto opens his eyes, weakly uttering, everything's gonna be okay. Piccolo has the Senzus and will find him soon. But Super Buu may not give him the chance. Powering back up, most of our heroes don't even have the strength to transform. Growing a devilish grin, Buu congratulates him on a battle well fought, assuring he had a wonderful time. Turning tail, he chimes he's really looking forward to facing him at their best in the future, causing Vegeto to wonder, was he really trying to absorb Broly? Grabbing up on those magic healing beans, the fused warrior thanks Piccolo, who offers to fix up his gi as well. And as the fight continues, 18 is persistent that it means nothing, Yamcha is a cyborg too, though completely confident she'll never lay a finger on him, refusing to strike back, as Yamcha, even saying so to 18, is a real fighter. He uses actual technique, and he's learned to push the limits of his body rather than take for granted what was given. Then informing, 18 has become much less powerful with time, as infinite energy is nothing more than a myth. Furthering, he states the energy of androids deteriorates with time. As the years passed, she's gotten weaker and weaker without even realizing it, and if she doesn't do a maintenance check on her body within 10 years, she won't even be able to walk. Her brother looking on speechless. Bringing the cyborg to a knee, he questions again if she's willing to accept his help. Vegeto returning to his group, he asks what he missed, and is excited as you'd expect. The boys are stoked to see this Yamcha as a cyborg. Our Vegeta comments on how their universal counterparts seem to have gone for quite a trip. Goku recognizing immediately Buu had to have had something to do with it. Cell taking note, if they fight far from the arena, nobody sees a thing. Unofficial comments, if Yamcha pins 18 for 13 more seconds, he will be declared the winner. Though on the ground with her arm locked, she appears reluctant to surrender. Even as Yamcha continues his persuasions, he's on her side. She shouts he will not beat her, but he claims he doesn't care about winning. All he wants to do is help her. As the Vargas makes his count down to 3, Yamcha gives up, releasing her and standing. He suggests she have her fun in this tournament, but when she's ready, come and see him on the 9th balcony. Krillin scoffing, a sucker of a friend will always fall for a girl with a beautiful pair of eyes. Tien pointing out how incapable he is of making it past the first round. Rejoining, he apologizes to his allies, deciding he'd rather save 2 lost souls than eventually get pulverized in the ring. And for the first time all day, it seems 18's emotional barrier has a crack. We're then introduced to a strange universe in Universe 2. And if you're familiar with, you probably already know. The next fight is set to feature a Raleigh of this realm, and Mary Sue, also of the second universe. The latter hailing from the Orion Star, where she mastered all martial arts and speaks every known language. Descendants of Saiyan princesses, blood sister of the Nameks, hidden daughter of Broly, Bardock, and King Vegeta. Sister of Bulma, fused with her double from the future, genetically altered with an IQ of 250. She's also immortal, can talk to animals and enter dreams. This elaborate introduction causes one of the hosting aliens to question what that was all about, who doesn't even know himself. It just kind of happened. Our Trunks, Brawl, and Vegeta seemingly completely enamored by her. Gohan and Pan, not so much. Though, the young girl fairly questions how she can have 3 fathers, angelically praising herself for closing her eyes when the lifeforms here created the moon, as she would have transformed into a giant Ozaru dragon octopus platypus. Her, who hates violence, but must fight to save her doomed people, her friends in prison, and her evil interdimensional double, the one of the prophecy, the promise she made, and the baby of Trunks, Piccolo, Goten, and Vegeta she bears within her womb. Such a beautiful voice! Such a dreadful destiny!
I'd give my life for her!
Bear my child! Shut up, Kakarot! With a Raleigh ready for the battle to begin. Don't miss the adventures of Mary Sue in the next Dragon Ball Multiverse.